Hey people, I'm Mary and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about micro habits that I've implemented into my life to help me build mental and emotional resilience to ultimately lessen my anxiety over time. Let's get into it. So, we need to set our expectations for what to expect with micro habits. And if you're looking for a quick fix, that's not what this is. This is something that is meant to build over time to help train your brain to be less anxious. Anxiety is a part of life. It's never going to completely go away. And if it did, that probably wouldn't be very healthy because anxiety helps keep us alive. So, by adding these micro habits, I am trying to build a relationship with my anxious brain so that I'm not looking at it as my enemy, but as a part of myself that I am learning to work with. I also have tailored these habits for me. So these are my micro daily habits. They're not necessarily going to work for everybody. A good example of this is I am a night owl. I do not like mornings. I have never been a morning person. And as at this point in my life, I don't plan to be a morning person. So my schedule and my micro habits are more tailored to have more things that I do later in my day because I have more energy at night naturally. So I'm just going to kind of take you through my day and what every day looks like for me. And from the outside looking in, this just looks like a normal day where I get out of bed, brush my teeth, go to work, come home, and go to bed. But these are habits that I have built internally that kind of help me have boundaries around how much of my life I let my anxiety take over. So, just like having boundaries with people in your life and things that you do is important, so are the boundaries that you have internally with yourself. I obviously start my morning with my alarm going off, and I will take 3 breaths first thing in the morning. And that's because I'm going to be the most anxious when I wake up. I wake up to an alarm, your cortisol levels are high in the morning, and that's natural. That's what wakes us up and gets us out of bed. However, I am an anxiety prone person. That cortisol jump to wake me up is going to cause my brain to want to start running, right? It's going to want to start thinking about what I have to do, things I need to worry about, all of these things. And so the hamster wheel is already starting, and it's crucial for me at this point to implement something that's going to help me kind of reel that in. It's not going to make the anxiety go away completely. It's going to help me have more control over my anxiety. My cat's playing, and I don't know if you can hear that, but if you can, I'm sorry. So I'm going to take 3 deep breaths, and this takes me 15 to 20 seconds. Sometimes I'll stretch a little bit while I do it, but this is just me taking a moment at the beginning of my day to say, whoa, we kind of need to take a minute, get our shit together before we even get out of this bed. And I'm going to make sure that my exhale is longer than my inhale. And this just already helps me kind of get a grip on my brain before it even has a chance to pull me under an anxious land. So then I get out of bed and I'm going to go brush my teeth like a normal person. And I have one of those really cool toothbrushes that has a 2-minute timer. It buzzes for each quadrant of your mouth that you're supposed to be brushing. And I love this because it forces me to have 2 minutes where I focus on calming my anxiety down and kind of checking in with myself for the day. So I'm going to take these 2 minutes to see where I'm at mentally and emotionally. Am I super anxious today? Am I angry? Am I scared about something? Am I just happy to be alive today? Because sometimes I shock myself and I wake up and I'm excited to be here. But I'm going to take a minute to just kind of get in my body and relax. So things that I'll do while I'm brushing my teeth, and this changes every day, but I'm trying to be mindful, and that's the main point here. So I'm focusing on what it feels like to brush my teeth. I'm trying to get a really good detailed toothbrushing in. So I'm focusing on brushing every single tooth, and that's helping get my brain out of anxious land and into my body. I'll focus on what it feels like to have my feet planted on the floor, or the decor I have in my bathroom, or the sound of the air conditioning. anything during these 2 minutes that just allows me to kind of have a moment of grounding, getting out of my head, and relaxing before I go into my day. So after I brush my teeth, I'm going to come into my room and get dressed. And then I'm going to go downstairs, make my breakfast, grab my lunch, and get out the door. From start to finish, my morning before I head to work is about 15 minutes. You could not pay me to have a 45-minute morning routine. That is just not going to happen. But in those 15 minutes, I have already implemented micro habits that are helping calm me down and help me have control over my day rather than my anxiety. So I bring my breakfast with me to work and I eat my breakfast at work. I work a 9 to 5 job and it's partially a desk job, partially not. I do a lot of different things and my job is very on brand with the woo woo weird parts of me. And it honestly allows me a little bit more freedom than I think most people get at their job. And that's something that I'm really grateful for, that I was really looking for when I was looking for a job. I work at a wholesale gemstone and crystal facility. I don't know if I already said that, but I guess I'll find out. And when I get to work in the morning, I'm I'm probably going to have a lot of emails. I'm going to have things that I need to start kind of figuring out what my day is going to look like, planning with customers, answering emails, typing up orders, doing all kinds of things. So during this time, I'm kind of getting a game plan for my day and I am mindfully eating my breakfast. So I will do a task, take a bite of my breakfast. While I'm chewing my breakfast, I'm focusing on what breakfast tastes like in my mouth, what it feels like, and then I change my focus to my task. Or maybe I'm printing something or I'm answering an email, something like that. So I'm taking a moment to kind of come into myself and then I look at what I'm doing. And I try to do this throughout the day. And I also find that implementing movement throughout my workday is crucial to not allowing my anxiety to take over. When my anxiety takes over, I don't function well, especially at work. My brain does not focus on anything else if it's in that place. So I will do exercises every time I go to the bathroom. And this is just like 1 or 2 minutes worth of exercises, nothing crazy. And I usually try to do something with strength training. So I do my business and then I will do wall push ups or squats or standing crunches. And I try to do one set of those every time I go to the bathroom. And this allows me to kind of have a moment of getting back into my body, moving my body, which is so key to helping my brain kind of let go of anxiety. I also try to get 1 or 2 walks in throughout the day. So I'll take a 5 or 10 minute walk. I realize this is not a luxury that everybody has. I have a area outside that I can walk around in, and I do try to do that 1 to 2 times a day. If that's not an option for you, take a walk around your building, go to the bathroom a little bit extra. Obviously, don't do something that's going to get you fired, but like get find ways to implement movement into your day. If you do have a desk job where you can't leave your desk very often, get a walking pad so that you're walking at your desk, or stand up and do squats at your desk between tasks if that's something that you are able to do. Find ways to move your body. And then also, do not let your blood sugar crash. So I don't mess around with my blood sugar. My blood sugar is directly tied to my mental health. Intermittent fasting, things like that, it doesn't work for me. I have to eat very balanced meals. So it needs a protein, a fiber, and a carb. I'm never going to skip lunch. If I skip lunch by the end of the day, first off, the work that I do, not anywhere near good at all. Second off, I would set myself up to be anxious for the rest of the day if I didn't eat lunch. So I always try to make sure that I get lunch in. So when I get home from my job, I'm obviously implementing things that help remind me that I'm safe. So I'll spend time with my friends, or I'll watch a stupid TV show or something on YouTube, something light and funny on the more anxious days. If you find that you're not really that anxious that day, go ahead and watch whatever you want to. If you want to watch a murder documentary and you don't think that's going to send your brain over the edge, watch your murder documentary. I have to be careful when I'm having a super anxious day what I put in front of me. If I'm doom scrolling or if I'm watching something that's going to cause me to be more anxious, that just kind of perpetuates the spiral, and it's something that I have to be mindful of. Not everybody necessarily is going to be that way, but implementing those things that help remind you that you're home and that you're safe is so important. And then, like I said before, I am a night owl. So once my best friend slash roommate goes to bed, this is my brain's time of the day where it feels that this is when we should shine. This is when we should feel creative. This is when we should research and understand and learn. And I have to honor that part of myself. I'm usually not going to go to bed before midnight. I'm definitely an after midnight kind of girl. So I have to set up a nighttime routine that when that time comes, kind of gets my body to wind down because I naturally get excited at nighttime. So I try to do yoga 2 to 3 times a week, do yin yoga before bed, usually a 10 to 15 minute yin yoga. If I don't have the energy to do yin yoga, then I'm at least going to stretch a little bit before I go to bed. I mean, this can be 2 minutes of stretching, but it will shock you how much of a difference this makes in winding yourself down. I also tend to shower at night. So when I'm in the shower, again, I'm being mindful. I'm focusing on what the water feels like. I'm deep breathing. I'm romanticizing my shower and my skincare and just really calming myself down, getting in my body, and trying to get out of my head. Once I get into my room, I have a sleep environment that honestly, it's the only way I can sleep. I have a fan going, I have an air purifier to make sure that my allergies aren't being irritated because I am allergic to everything. And if I'm struggling with my allergies at night, I'm probably not going to be sleeping well. So my air purifier definitely helps with that. I make sure that my room is cool and dark. I have blackout curtains, but I also use a sleeping mask. And I tend to read even just 10 minutes before I go to sleep. And I have LED lights behind my headboard that I turn on red light so that my circadian rhythms are being triggered, that the sun is setting and it's time to go to bed. All of these things, and then when it is time for me to go to sleep, I turn on my white noise and I'm out in less than 5 minutes. And it's because I've set up this environment with all of these little micro habits that I don't even have to think about them at this point, but it helps me get sleep. And sleep is the biggest thing that helps my mental health. It Even though I'm a night owl, I still get 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. And if I don't have that, micro habits aren't going to do shit. They're not. They're not going to help my brain. When my brain is tired, it's anxious, it's angry, and it doesn't want to function. So it's been kind of a journey finding the balance between being a night owl and getting enough sleep. And I think having a job that starts at 9 o'clock, which means I can stay up a little bit later, I have a little bit more leeway in the morning, is really helpful for me. So these are kind of my micro habits that I've slowly implemented over time that have really been helping with my anxiety and showing my brain that I can calm down. I also do different types of breathing exercises and stuff like that if I'm having a more stressful day or there's something going on in my life that's causing higher stress. And those are some things that I've gone through in other videos, and I can link those up above. I hope that these tips help and that you find things that you can implement into your life to hopefully build mental and emotional resilience. And if you're into things like this, as far as mental health goes, or you're into weird woo woo shit stuff, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.